First time posting on this sub, and I am writing this via phone, so apologies for any mistakes. Cast, me is me, EA is entitled aunt, EU is entitled uncle, EC1 is my cousin, and EC2 is my other cousin. Backstory. I live in India where guests are to be treated with the highest honour. My entitled aunt is my dad's younger sister who loves to travel. Entitled Cousin 1 and Entitled Cousin 2 are both younger than 10, 8 and 6 years old. Plot. So me and my brother's older annual exams were held in March. So my aunt decides to visit then, because she wanted to go somewhere else in the second week of April. Note that Entitled Cousin 1 and Entitled Cousin 2's exams were already over. So she booked aeroplane tickets and told my parents about it after they had paid for everything. So of course they told them that it was not a good time, but my aunt and uncle couldn't change it now, and also because she had never been to our city and wanted to explore. Entitled aunt had the option to come over 1 month later after she visited the place, but of course not. So although I did finish my syllabus 2 weeks earlier, yeah, I'm a nerd, I still need to revise because these were important exams. So they came over just 2 days before our exams. And as you can probably imagine, their kids just constantly annoyed us and didn't let us study. They'd want to play games with us or watch TV at a loud volume. We couldn't even say anything because they'd take offence and start crying or whining to Entitled Aunt. Eventually I complained to my parents, but they couldn't be rude to Entitled Aunt as word spreads fast in the family. So they just told us that it's okay if we didn't score so well this time. They actually roamed the city only on 2 occasions, and that's it. So for 2 weeks we had to deal with this crap. I still got above average marks, and now Entitled Aunt and Entitled Uncle have been told to tell us before booking tickets to our place. I know there's no juicy ending or anything, but it took a lot of patience to deal with Entitled Cousin 1 and Entitled Cousin 2. Too late didn't read. Entitled Aunt comes over during our exams, and we have no choice but to deal with their noisy kids. Yeah, I would be really annoyed too. I mean, you're lucky that you're, as you say, a nerd, because that means that you're still probably going to get above average anyway. But imagine if you weren't if you were one of the people that have to kind of study to do well, and then you have to deal with that. That just wouldn't be nice at all. I have a second-hand shop in my house. Prices are cheap, and usually folks are nice and sweet. But there's this one lady who gets on everyone's nerves. Everything is an emergency. Her kids need pants, she needs shirts, her husband doesn't have whatever. She comes at 4 p.m. when her kids come home from school. I tell her it's not a good time. The hours are 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., 2 times a week. Please don't come after 3:30 p.m. because you won't have time to look. But it's an emergency. Her whatever needs whatever. Because she's standing at the door, I let her in. I know, that's my fault. Cue her 4 kids coming out of the elevator. They are hungry, tired, and obnoxious. She's taking her time looking at everything I have in stock. Her kids are asking me for food. 2 boys run into my kitchen and take my broom and mop. They head over to the living room to take stuff out of the top shelf of my bookshelves. Excuse me, I say. These are not toys, and you don't have permission to take anything that is not on the top shelves. The mum slowly says, "Boys, put those things back," to which they ignore. So I tell them they need to go outside. My daughter is playing nicely by herself with a doll and a doll stroller. One of this family's girls wants to play with the stroller and the doll, but not with my daughter. They begin to argue. My daughter says, "I don't want to share my dollies today." I respect my daughter's decision. She doesn't want to share, she doesn't have to. Here's where I realise the mum is an entitled parent. She kneels down beside my daughter and tells her, "You can be big and let my daughter play with your dolls. She needs to play with them. I'm not finished here." Me. My daughter said no, you need to follow her decision. Entitled parent, but she's 2, she doesn't have an opinion. My daughter doesn't have a stroller and she wants to play. Me, I'm sorry, your 2-year-old doesn't have a stroller. My 2-year-old said not today. Don't make her feel bad because she made a choice you don't agree with. This happens about once a week. Lady comes in, tells her kid it's okay to tear up my house, and bullies my daughter. I had to make a rule that no kids are allowed to come. I'm not your free babysitter. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I honestly think that lady just brings her kids to you because she's tired and she can't be bothered with them, which is really sad. I feel sorry for your daughter. She's obviously entitled to her own toys and she shouldn't have to share them if she doesn't want to. On mobile, English is not my first language. Okay, so some backstory. Entitled family was family friends with my parents, and as you can see, they are very entitled. We were going on a vacation, my family with their family, but they didn't have enough money. Okay, no big deal, we go to the place, book a hotel, and got us rooms. I had brought my console to play when I am bored, and I was bored, so I took it out and played some Super Mario Odyssey. While I was playing, my parents went out to buy some snacks, and I sat in the room. The entitled family were neighbours to our room, so entitled kids dashed into my room and started being obnoxious and looking into my stuff. And after all of that, he got interest in my Switch. The thing is, I bought this Switch with my own money, and it is the first thing I bought with my money, so I treasure it and never allow anyone to play on it. And like any other kids, he doesn't budge. Okay, now, on to the convo. OP, Couch Potato, EA. Oh, okay. OP is obviously the poster. EA is the entitled aunt. EK is obviously the entitled kid, and then there's dad, mum, and somebody called EU who's not part of the story. I guess that's the cast. Entitled kid. Oh, is that the new Nintendo Switch? OP. Yep. Entitled kid. Can I have it? OP. No. Entitled kid. Why? I can have everything I want. OP. Not here, kiddo. Entitled kid. No, you can give it to me now. He runs to me and tries to snatch it, but fails miserably by slipping on the floor and became squashed. Entitled aunt. Heard the noise and came to my room. Entitled aunt. What are you boys doing? What are you doing to my entitled kid? OP. I did not do anything. He tried to snatch my Switch, but he slipped. Entitled kid. Mummy, he is lying. He legit said it like this. Entitled aunt. How dare you hurt my angel? OP. I did not do anything. Entitled aunt. You should give the Switch to entitled kid. You are too old for games. OP. No way, I bought it with my money. Entitled aunt. You don't deserve it. My angel is better than you. Entitled kid. Mummy, will I get the Switch? Entitled aunt. Yes, you will, honey. Entitled aunt. OP. You should give it to entitled kid as a compensation. OP. For the last time, no. Entitled aunt snatches it and goes away. Well, I can't do anything now because I am scared and I honestly don't know how I didn't cry. My parents came and I told them. Dad, it's okay, we will buy you a new one. Mum, yeah, she won't give it back anyway. My parents are super polite, so it was a bummer. I was really angry at entitled aunt and entitled kid, but what can I do? Then I found the perfect plan. I went to the nearest shop and bought tons of alarm clocks which ring really loudly in the morning. I used the money I told my parents I was going to buy lots of snacks. I went to my room and did the setups to morning 3 a.m. While we went to eat food in the restaurant, I ate quickly and went back to my room. While they took a lot of time, I took the alarm clocks to their room and hid it everywhere, like in the bathroom, under the bed, in their luggage, in the cupboards, and 3 near their bed. I hid it so they can't find it easily, and everyone came back. We talked and went to sleep. You know what happens next. She started screaming, and we got a lot of complaints from other people, but it was worth it. She started asking for the hotel manager and screaming her head off. Why? I don't know. Was it petty? Yes. Was it worth it? Yes. Did I take those alarms back? Yes, yes, and yes. Edit. A lot of you are asking for pressing charges, but I live in India, and here the police are blind. Too late, didn't read the title. Yeah, I think it's really unfair if that's the first thing you've bought with your own money and then this kid just takes it from you. And the parents shouldn't have defended the kid. And although it's good revenge, I still feel like that doesn't make up for the Switch that got stolen. And I really hope your parents bought you a new one, since they didn't exactly want to fight the entitled aunt to get it back. I wish I could say that this was fake, but yes, somehow people are this stupid. On to the story. Some background, I play lots of sports, and sometimes, like in this story, I like to race go-karts. This happened a few years ago, before the virus started. The place I go to has a mini-league, if you want to call it that. A lot of the people there are really chill and really good racers. One of the people, entitled Kid, was not a chill person and a horrible racer. For all my racing nerds out there, he would turn up too late and blame people for pushing him off. He would cut corners and scream at the stewards who awarded him a penalty, and he would constantly bump and pit maneuver other drivers. His mother, entitled Mum, was no help. Rather than correcting her child's behaviour, she encouraged it by yelling at the stewards or other drivers if entitled Kid got into a situation. This one particular race was near the end of our little timetable. Entitled Kid and me are both about 11 to 12 at the time. The race started with Entitled Kid, his usual shenanigans, cutting corners and yelling his vocal cords out. On the verge of disqualification, Entitled Kid came up behind me and rammed me from behind. I turn and say, "Hey, watch out," and he responds with, "Shut up, kid, I'm just trying to pass your slow butt." Obligatory censoring for YouTubers, as he was more vulgar than that. The steward called him, and they said, "Hey, watch the language," to which Entitled Kid responded with a roll of his eyes. Entitled Mum, however, in a very nasally, Karen-y tone, "Excuse me?" The stewards turn around and converses with Entitled Mum, as me and Entitled Kid drive away. Now, you would think Entitled Kid learns his lessons at this point, but who am I kidding? Nobody ever assumes that, because entitled people never learn. As we round a corner, Entitled Kid, as usual, slides off the track without turning. He yells at me, "Nice move, butthole," to which I pay no attention and keep driving. I glance back over at the steward, who has to deal with Entitled Mum, and she is still over there screaming her butt off and not letting the steward get a single word in edgewise. Somehow, Entitled Kid catches up to me and continues to bump me. The nearby steward has had enough and waves a black flag signalling a disqualification. Entitled Kid is livid and starts waving his arms around and screaming. Entitled Mum looks at the black flag and continues screaming at the steward. How he made the other one disqualify her little angel. Insert obligatory vomiting here. The steward comes down from his post to try to calm Entitled Mum down. Now, it's important to notice that Entitled Kid needed to get back to the pits before he can leave the track for his disqualification. So technically, he gets one cool down lap so he can exit the track. He usually ignores it and goes full racing speed anyway, as he was in this situation. Not only was he racing at full speed, but he was still bumping me, trying to screw my race up. The Entitled Mum has already slapped the other steward and continues to essentially assault the guy for no reason. Me and Entitled Kid come down from a large straight, where the one steward post is. Entitled Kid is still neck and neck with me. Entitled Mum looks over at where Entitled Kid is, and I will never forget what she did. She pushes the steward over onto the track, almost directly in the middle because he's tall. Just shoved the guy right in the way of 80 kilometers per hour, rough guesstimate, steel-framed carts. An entitled kid's reaction was even worse. He drifted away from the side he was on, still at full speed, and tried to run the steward down. I was lucky enough to slam entitled kid's car out of the way and stop mine. But if I hadn't done that, the steward may have lost a few limbs. I just push a button and retire my car. I couldn't handle the Neutron styles, and I just gave up. The steward thanked me for saving him, and I just left. I really hope that steward pressed charges against that entitled mother, because, you know, he could have broken a few bones from if the OP hadn't saved him. I just don't understand why she didn't get arrested for that. I mean, that's a pretty serious offence. Hi, all you reading. So I'm a huge Minecraft fan and I play a lot in my free time. If you don't know, Minecraft makes a connection to the Xbox app to play with friends. You don't need an Xbox though. Hope that makes sense. This conversation happened in Dutch. I'll try to translate it as good as possible, but English is my third language. A few months ago, I was playing in the world when some random person joined. You guessed it, this was the entitled kid. I was just building and minding my own business. The entitled kid started asking everyone, "Hey, do you want to be friends?" Which they said yes on. It's common that people do that, but I ignored it. Then the entitled kid asked me specifically, "Hey, do you want to be BFFs?" I said no. I explained to the entitled kid that I can't be their BFF because we barely know each other, and I don't feel comfortable being BFFs with somebody off the internet. Literally, she joined 5 minutes ago. I don't know if the entitled kid is a he or she, so I'll just keep continuing with she. I found out later in the story. She didn't like that. The entitled kid keeps asking, and I tell her the same thing over and over. Then the owner of the world we were playing in had to go. For those of you that don't know, if the owner leaves, the other players get disconnected as well. End of the story, you would think, but no. I play Minecraft on my PC, and I have the Xbox app also on my phone. I don't get notifications from the app, though. I don't see when somebody has texted me. The entitled kid starts texting me on Xbox. This is how I remember the conversation. Xbox doesn't keep the text, so I couldn't read it back. Entitled kid, do you want to be BFFs? Me? No, I won't. I have already told you that I don't want to become someone's BFF if I barely know them. Entitled kid, please? Me? No. Entitled kid, my mum wants to speak with you. Can you come online at 3 a.m? Me? Sure. This happened in the weekend, before quarantine and stuff. Next day at 3 p.m, I almost forgot about it, but I opened the app. From now on, I will call them EF, Entitled Family, because it's not clear who was texting me by then. Most of the messages said, "Hi, this is the mother," or "Hi, this is her older sister," etc. Entitled Family, you are late. Me, who am I talking to? Entitled Family, the mother. So my daughter told me you don't want to be friends? Me, your daughter wants to become my BFF, and I have already told her that I don't want that. Entitled Family, why not? You two could play together. Me, I have no problem with playing with her, but I don't want to become her BFF. At this point, it is mostly me saying the same thing over and over again, and she asks again and again, and then she says this. Entitled Family, my daughter is autistic, so if you don't become her BFF, she will be really upset. And you don't want that, do you? I was on the point of getting mad, but this changed it. I don't know why I believed her, but I did. A really good friend of mine is autistic, and he is the nicest guy I have ever met. Me, I'm sorry to hear about that, but my answer won't change. She went mad. She started saying not so nice things, and I just closed the app. A few minutes later, I go to check out of curiosity. Bad choice. Most of the texts were, "Don't you have respect for your elders?" and "I'm going to get your account deleted," and some variations on that. I decided not to answer. Next day, the entitled kid texts me, "Hey, I'm sorry for my mum. Can we be BFFs?" Not this again. I simply answer, "No." This went on and on. Apparently it was her mum texting me, but after that it was her sister. I tell her, "Listen, I want one person or we are done." Entitled family, "Hello, this is the mother. What's the problem?" Me, "You know what the problem is. You want to talk, but all you do is blame me." Entitled family, "My wife is a hard-working person. Have a bit of respect, you butthole." Entitled family, "Hi, I'm sorry about this. This is blank in-game player name. My dad pretended like he was my mother. This is what I meant with confusing people, lol." Me, "I'm done. You know what I like about Xbox? The two buttons named Remove Friend and Block User." Entitled kid, "What is Xbox?" Me, "The app you were using." Entitled kid, "Why? I didn't do anything. Why are you being so mean?" Me, "I'm gonna use those buttons now." I decided not to and just watch what's gonna happen. The result was funny. Entitled kid, "Why are you not reacting?" Entitled kid, "Wee hee." Yes, she literally typed that. Entitled kid, "Oh look, you don't answer. You are scared. Wee baby baby. Look, you were scared." No joke, this is literally what she said, and I will post a screenshot if you guys want. I blocked her. I assume she was still texting me, because she can still text me. I simply don't receive them. A few days later, I went to her profile and blocked her, wrote "Okay, boomer," and blocked her again. Never heard of them after that, so that's the end of the story. Hope you enjoyed. Please keep in mind that I had to translate this, and that English is my third language. Honestly, I don't think there even was an entitled mother, an entitled sister, an entitled dad, or anything. I think it was just her trying to scare you into adding her as a friend. Also, I doubt that she is autistic, and I don't know. I don't really blame you for feeling bad for her. But even if it was the entitled mother and she had an autistic child, then there are nicer ways to go about it. You could just be like, "Hey, my daughter doesn't have many friends. I know you don't know her very well, but it would make her really happy if you played Minecraft with her or something like that." But you can't really insist that somebody becomes friends with your daughter. Although saying that, I just think it was the entitled kid pretending to be her family. Sorry if this is kind of short. This is a follow-up of my last entitled parent post. If you haven't read it, I suggest you do for some backstory. So recently it was my birthday. I had a really good time and even saw some of my family which I haven't seen since quarantine started. Anyway, I got quite a lot of money, around $200. I wanted to go buy something since I had been saving up from work. Even though I knew this would piss my mum off so much, I said F it and bought a dog. 2 cats, a crazy mum, and I bought a dog. I only made this decision because my mum gave me my room back. Like I said, more context in my last post. My dog is a beagle named Panda because he has black and white spots on his belly. Eventually, I got home and my mum is waiting at the door for me. I asked, "What's the problem?" She said, "You bought a dog, didn't you?" I guess she heard the dog barking so close to the house and made that assumption. As she would find out anyway, I came clean and said yes. She shook her head and I just walked away and brought him up to my room. I was playing with him when she knocked and said, "Get rid of that dog." Obviously, I was shocked, so I said, "Excuse me? I bought him with my own money, and you bought a pet yourself when you still have a chance to get laid off." She sat there for a bit, then said, "You may have bought him with your money, but you're under my roof." At this point, I said, I was so fed up, I said, "The only reason I haven't moved out is because I'm not 18. She asked, "You really want to leave?" I said, "Yes, you took my bed for almost a month, bought a new cat worth a shopping trip, and you're always mad at me." She stayed silent and walked downstairs. Later that night, when she thought I was sleeping, she walked into my room, grabbed my dog, when I stopped her and said, "What the F are you doing?" She said, "Getting rid of him." I said, "Are you effing crazy? He's my dog." She used the same excuse, "But you're under my roof." I yelled, "Leave my room, right effing now, and I'm ordering a lock for my door." She left, and I went right onto Amazon to order a new knob with a lock. I want to thank everyone that suggested that I should stand up to my mum. I'm tired of hearing her crap, and I feel like you guys made me realise what she does is not okay. Me and Panda are doing fine now. I have not talked to her since, and I think she wants me to move in with my grandpa. Thanks for reading this post. Have a nice day. I'm not actually sure if this would qualify as an entitled parent post, because the thing is, while I think that maybe your mum taking your dog in the middle of the night is not the right thing to do, you should have consulted her before you... Thanks, laptop. But you should have consulted her before you bought a dog under her roof. I mean, if it's your own place, go ahead and do it, but I feel like getting a pet is a family decision, and she should have also told you about the cat that she was going to buy as well. So I don't really know what's going on, but it sounds like you guys need to communicate better, maybe. Tell each other what's going on. And I don't know if there's more backstory. I think there must be more to this, but I think that perhaps there's something more going on. Because I feel like not wanting your child to have a dog and then getting mad because they went behind your back and did so is not an unreasonable thing to do. Somebody commented, "This sounds more like entitled child takes after entitled parent. You're basically mimicking your mum's behaviour. I read your last post. While your mum's actions were sucky and just plain weird, you weren't exactly a saint either. You're not an adult and you are living under her roof, so no, you didn't have the right to go and buy a dog without permission. Also, dogs and cats are vastly different when it comes to raising." Actually, I think I'm going to try and find the other post for you because I want to know what's going on now. So I will see you in a minute when I found the post. So I think this is the first post that the person that the OP was talking about in the last one that I read you, which I probably should have read to you first, but here's this one. This one is fairly short, but I feel like it belongs here. So about a week ago, my mum got a new kitten without my knowledge. We already have one, which is pretty old. So I said, T, short for tiger, isn't going to like L, Leaf, the new cat. And she said, "Oh, they'll be fine." So eventually I come home, and I go to my room. As soon as I open my door, I see a litter box, cat tree, water bowl, food bowl, and some toys. I say to my mum, "Why is all the cat stuff in here?" She replies, "T doesn't like Elle very much." I asked, "Why didn't you put Elle in your room?" And she said, "Because I have less floor space." I check her room, and surprise, surprise, her room is bigger than mine. So I deal with it. I kept telling myself, it's still my room, but as I came to find out, this was not the case. That night, after a long night of editing, I go into my room just to find my mum sleeping on my bed. I asked, "Why are you sleeping here?" She said, "He needs a calming presence." I sighed and walked away. She said that because I was yelling at my PC earlier. So then I go downstairs and I realise I left my memory foam pillow that I kind of need, otherwise my neck feels like crap for the day. So I walked back upstairs and asked if I could have it back. She says, "I have pillows in my room." The pillows that she have are thin and itchy, but I deal with it and sleep. I wake up feeling already like crap and continue with my day. After After a night of playing Call of Duty with some friends, I go to my room for the exact thing to happen. I just left. From then to now, I have been dealing with this uncomfortable couch every night. I just at least want my pillow back. LMAO. Edit/update. I want to thank everyone for the suggestions. With some of your guys' help, I ended up getting my pillow back. Sadly, I returned from a bike ride to the sight of a chewed-up headphone cords, and worst of all, my shoes. The only pair I had were white Nike Air Force Ones, which I bought last Christmas. Probably my favourite pair ever, just ruined. Like that. And of course, because of quarantine, I have to buy another pair of shoes online with the money I was trying to save up for new PC accessories/specs. Of course my mum pulled the usual excuse. I wasn't watching. But it's literally an effing baby cat. Why wouldn't you watch it? Anyways, there's a little update for you guys. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, I agree with that guy that commented before, saying that you're just as bad as each other, basically. Because, it was wrong of her to take your room, but you shouldn't have got a dog without consulting her, because she is the one that pays the bills. She is the one that owns the house. She has to live in the house with that dog. So, you know. Whereas I do think that she is an entitled parent, I think you're also an entitled kid, depending on how old you are, or entitled adult that lives at home, something like that. Anyway, I think that's going to be all for today. I will see you next time.